Have you ever been there, sitting right next to the person you're dating? You know, the person you talk to every single day, but you still feel this deep, hollow sense of being alone? It's such a confusing, isolating feeling. You think, we're together, we're supposed to be connected, but something just isn't there. So let's dig into that feeling and try to figure out what's really going on.
And that's the core of it, right? This crazy paradox. You're physically with someone, maybe you've been in a relationship for years, but there's still this quiet ache inside you, this emptiness that another person's presence just doesn't seem to touch.
So why? Why does this happen? I mean, if you're not physically by yourself, where in the world does this powerful feeling of loneliness come from? It's a question that gets right to the very heart of what we need as humans.
Okay, so the first big piece of the puzzle is understanding what we can call the connection gap. It's basically the giant chasm between just sharing a space with someone and actually truly feeling connected to them.
And this right here, this is everything. Loneliness isn't about counting how many people are in the room with you. It's a measure of how seen, how heard, and how deeply understood you feel.
Let's break this down, because the difference is huge. On one side, you've got physical presence. You're sharing an apartment, you're having those routine, how was your day talks. You are literally being seen. But emotional connection, that's a whole other level. That's sharing your inner world, having those scary, vulnerable conversations, and getting that incredible feeling of feeling seen for exactly who you are.
This is the trap that so many relationships fall into. You can talk for hours, right? About work, about errands, about what's on TV. But if you're not sharing your real fears, your secret dreams, your insecurities, you're not building a real bond. You're just exchanging information, and your hearts are never really in the conversation.
So that connection gap we talked about, it doesn't just appear out of nowhere. A lot of the time it's being pried open by these powerful, invisible forces from our past. We call them attachment styles. You can think of it like a hidden program running in the background of all our relationships.
Basically, attachment theory says that the way we connected with our caregivers when we were kids creates a kind of blueprint for how we do relationships as adults. It's our default setting for intimacy.
And one of the most common and loneliest dynamics is what happens when someone with an anxious style gets together with someone with an avoidant style. The anxious person craves closeness. They need reassurance. But the more they seek it, the more it triggers the avoidant person who's afraid of being suffocated and needs space. It becomes this painful dance, this push and pull, where one person leans in and the other leans away, leaving both of them feeling completely misunderstood and desperately alone.
Now, on top of all our internal wiring, we have to deal with the world we live in. And today, let's be real, technology plays a massive role in our relationships, and it's created a whole new kind of paradox.
I mean, think about it. You text all day, you see their stories on Instagram, you're never really out of contact.
And yet, all of that constant communication can be incredibly shallow. It's just text on a screen. It doesn't have the weight, or the warmth, or the vulnerability of a real face-to-face conversation. And here's the illusion, right? The buzz of your phone gives you a little hit of dopamine. It feels good. It feels like you're connecting. But it's not connection, it's just stimulation. It's a world away from the deep, secure feeling you get from sitting with someone, looking them in the eyes, and sharing something that actually matters.
Okay, so this next part might be the hardest to look at, but it's probably the most important piece of the whole puzzle. Often, the loneliness you feel in a relationship is really just a mirror, reflecting the relationship you have with yourself.
This is such a fundamental truth. We so often look for a relationship to complete us, to heal us, to finally make us feel like we're worthy. But a relationship can't build your self-worth from the ground up. It can only amplify what you already believe about yourself.
Think about it. If deep down inside you don't believe you're actually worthy of love, you'll subconsciously find ways to push it away. When your partner is kind to you, that little voice in your head will whisper, well, they don't really know you. If they did, they wouldn't say that. You just can't let the good stuff in because you don't feel like you deserve it.
And this brings us to that final painful wall. It's the ultimate catch-22. We crave connection more than anything else in the world, but we're also terrified of what it takes to get it: vulnerability. We're so scared that if someone sees all of us, the messy parts, the imperfect parts, they'll leave. So we keep them at a distance. And in doing that, we end up creating the very loneliness we were so desperately trying to run from.
So after all that, what do? Where do we go from here? Well, just putting these pieces together, just understanding the real roots of this feeling, that is the huge first step toward finding a connection that's real.
When you boil it all down, it comes back to these things. That feeling of loneliness isn't just a random mood. It's a signal. It's pointing to something deeper. A lack of real emotional depth. That push and pull attachment dance, the empty calories of digital chatter, or that deep internal fear of letting someone really see you.
And that's the thing I really want you to take away from all this. The solution to loneliness isn't just finding a person. It's about finding a certain kind of connection. It's having the courage to be truly seen and the courage to truly see someone else in return. It starts with you, and that is where real connection finally begins.